Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. This is the town of Cornoe and this is the Rise of Cornoe playthrough in version 1. Thank you so much for all the support, the likes and the comments. I love it, and I think you love it too. And just for clarity, I read all of them. I don't necessarily respond to them and I don't necessarily address them in the videos, but I do read all of them. And when I think there's something to discuss, I will discuss it. So there's a few things in the comments. The one is this sewage kind of outflow over here, the sewage discharge. It's got a bit of wear and tear on it, only just a little bit, and it's discharging like 30 or 40 cubic meters of sewage every day. Yes, every day. Now, in my previous kind of playthroughs, it didn't really matter if this was too close to town, but obviously it makes a lot of sense that it's not right here where people are also fishing and things like that. So, but one of the things that we'll have to keep an eye on is if the pollution is actually going to drive a little bit of health concern. So we'll keep an eye on it. I'm not moving it right now. I can't do it. It's not going to be it's going to be a major project in the future. So we'll keep an eye on it. We've got a 1% pollution. It may be related to this. One thing that we can do we have research ongoing? We don't. So one thing that we can do is have a look at how we can review pollution. Basic research, initiate scientific research into environmental pollution and its effect on human health. I'm going to start that one. We're going to do some others during this game as well, I'm pretty sure. We've got a pretty healthy population, so we can try and research this pretty quickly. Maybe we'll do something like that so we don't upset the balance of education versus research too much. Okay, so that's the one. Absolutely. Good comment. I love it. It's very difficult to move our sewage lines into the future, but we'll see what we do. We probably need to do planned sewage treatment at some point. It's not a top priority for us in the early stages. Now, the other comment was around some of the mods associated with locomotives, steam locomotives to be exact, and suggesting that we might run in the kind of sense of a touristy town or resort or something. We might run a tourist train, a historic tourist train with steam locomotives. I love the idea of the tourist train. I'm not sure. I love the idea. Let's just leave it there. I'm not sure if the historic train is the right answer, but maybe if we do a little tourist town over here somewhere. Sorry, I'll make this even bigger. I know it's small, especially if you're watching on your phone. Maybe if we make a little Soviet tourist town over here, we could run a locomotive along the water's edge or something like that. Maybe that's something we can do. But we won't be running tourist trains into the west. The whole plan, the whole idea, and the whole narrative is around our little fishing village over here. So maybe a tourist, if we end up doing a nice tourist resort somewhere over here, maybe we end up running trains to that resort. But we do need to bear in mind that maybe the resort needs to go somewhere over here, so that we can have both access to maybe run that tourist train for quite a distance. Actually, that would be really nice to run it all the way through here to a tourist town here, and we can still get airplanes and ferries coming in with the Western tourists. I don't want to run a Western tourist train, but anyway, that's kind of a good comment. I love it. We'll get back to that a little bit later in this episode from a planning perspective, but then also in the future, of course, and if we actually do it. We've got a building fire. I can't find it. Show me. I can't see. Oh, there it is. It is our meat storage. Where's the services? Here they come. Excellent. They are on their way. And I think they'll be more than in time. Yeah, more than in time. Okay. Now, what are we going to do in this episode? We're going to plan the nation. Now that we have researched the geological map, right? I'm back on the map. We now know where all of these things are. All of our baseline resources, the big ticket items, right, that we need as the foundation of our nation. So we're going to do that. But before we do that, we're going to set up a few things to happen in Cornoe itself. One thing that I did notice, so we're still building a little bit of a path over here. I'm not going to pause, right? Yeah, these guys are actively working. Is that under construction? Yes, there's a lot of stuff under construction over here. That's okay. All good. We're playing on the slower speed, so let's up it to the faster one. I added a city hall over here, which I never actually got linked up. So what we'll do, I'll build the path to city hall. Yeah, probably 2 of them actually. We'll do. Yeah, we've got lights over there. So what we'll do is we'll do one over here, and we'll get started on that. Okay, so the crews should come in and deal with that. At the same time, we'll put a little mud footpath over there, so the crews can also assign here and start building. Excellent. Both of these things auto-assigned and is starting to build. Okay, so with construction, immediate construction activities on the way, the other thing that I want to do is start to asphalt this. But before we do that, I see we've actually picked up our border construction. Cornoe border construction office is done. So let's set that up. So for those of you who's new to the game, setting up a construction office, you need to do a few different things. You need to assign where it's going to get everything it needs. So for our purposes, we are going to get workers from town. Typically, that's a bus or train. Oh well, it's not a train platform because they don't have a train. Typically, it's a bus platform, right? But you can also get it from the border post. Okay, we're going to go and get our gravel from our very own gravel over here. We're going to get our asphalt from here and our concrete from here. Those are the things that we are producing ourselves. We are currently importing steel, bricks, prefabs, and boards, which is something that we slowly will start to change. That can all be picked up from this road cargo station over there. We've got mechanical components and electric components, which I'm currently importing into this warehouse, so we can pick them up over there. Now this construction office is set up. Okay, we don't have power here, which means that even if there's room for fuel, even if we were to put fuel in here, we won't be able to refuel our vehicles because it needs power to do that. So it's something that we might continue to do in the future as we expand here and we bring more power distribution into this area, which is what will happen. Then we can do that. Now, let's talk the next thing. What do we need in terms of vehicles? So now we need to buy some vehicles. Now, if we look at our existing construction office, and let's open this up. So we've got buses to pick up people. We've got covered hulls to take like the electronic and mechanical components, to construction sites. We've got the bulldozer, which is used to. I actually haven't seen a bulldozer on a construction site. It's only on the roads, right? So to kind of spread the gravel and stuff like that, right? So that's mainly for road construction, I think. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments, please. If you use bulldozers in construction for anything else, okay, it's also used for leveling terrain, right? But on the actual construction of buildings and various infrastructure beyond the roads, is the bulldozer ever used? Because that might be important in terms of how many you need. Then we've got some open hulls. Now, the open hulls come over here and grab all of these various construction materials. That goes on the back of the flatbed. We've got concrete mixers, 2 of them over here. That goes to get concrete, of course. We've got dumpers. Dumpers are very important for early stage development of infrastructure as well. They bring gravel, they bring asphalt to construction sites. Then we've got the excavator. The excavator is super important for early stage kind of groundworks on construction sites, but also is used, can do the same thing that the bulldozer can do in terms of spreading kind of gravel and stuff on infrastructure. And then it's the crane. Now the crane is an interesting one. I'll click on the crane and we'll have a look. This is a level 26 crane. Okay, so the crane means that 26 people can get a construction boost. 26 workers on a site gets a kind of a modifier, a boost. That was the level for the crane means. And I can't remember exactly how much quicker it makes it happen, but it does speed things up significantly. So cranes you want. There's two varieties. You've got the normal road crane, which can drive itself, and then you've got the tower cranes, which needs to go on the back of a flatbed to get to a construction site. So it's a little bit more intensive, but typically you get a better modifier there. Okay, so those are the kind of basic items. What's not in here is a paver and a roller. If you're going to do asphalt, you need a paver and a roller as well. I don't think you need it. Your people can do it, but I think but it's definitely more beneficial. So let's drop in here. So we definitely want. Let's go open hull. We definitely want. We've got 24 slots, right? So let's see. Let's start with 3 open hulls. Okay, that's important. Let's then go to 3 concrete mixers, okay, and we'll go to 3 dumpers. Those things are super important, okay. 10 tons. Oh, I'm just selecting the best that we have in terms of vehicles at the moment, and it's both a capacity and speed thing. Even though we still have gravel roads, we will be going to asphalt fairly soon. This guy's too slow, 35 kilometers an hour. Even though it carries a lot, it's just too slow to get to where we want it quickly. These guys, 70 kilometers an hour is pretty good at 10 tons. This is too little material on the other hand. So, and at the moment, 85 kilometers an hour doesn't mean anything for us. To be honest, we could go with the 60 kilometers an hour one if it's big enough. So I just don't want to go slower than, on the gravel road, you can go 40 or 45 kilometers an hour. So really the sweet spot is this one. You can look at price as well, but really it kind of is just select the best vehicle, at least 3 of them. Okay, now the next thing we want to have a look at is a covered hull vehicle. I don't think we need a lot of them. So for the time being, we'll just grab the one. Again, I'll do a high capacity, higher speed kind of mix. So over here you can see very quick but very low capacity. That's a reasonable capacity, but it's still the same speed as this guy. So I'm only saving a little bit of rubles by doing this. So I'd rather go this one. This one's a bit quicker and a bit smaller again. Same here, same here. So that's kind of my thought process as I go through here. So let's grab that. Let's quickly see this building. That's on fire. Yeah, they should be fine. No problems. Okay, pop back out of that. Back into our vehicle. So now we've got open hull, concrete mixers, dumpers, and a covered hull. Now we still got a lot of room here. Now we need to have a look at what is next. So, okay. We need a couple of buses. Okay, I think here I don't necessarily want to do the biggest buses because we can't provide material really quick enough to have like 80 people there. We also don't have the spare workers to put 80 people on a construction site. So here is somewhere where I'd rather maybe go on a slightly smaller vehicle. Something like 40 is not bad, or 52 is not bad, but I don't want to put 80 vehicles on a construction site. Actually, there's one that comes out in the future that has like 30 passengers, which I love to use for construction offices. Actually, maybe something like this. That's 52. It's a slightly cheaper and slower vehicle. I don't know why this one is better and very similarly priced. So let's just go with those ones. So let's grab this one over. Actually, this one. I'm going to go with this one over here, and I'm going to change its color to the red for construction vehicle. No. We'll grab 2 of them. No more than that. No more than that. I think 2 of them is going to be fine. Maybe we'll... So the reason I'm doing it like this is if we find that we've got extra slots once we've done everything we wanted, we can go and up our numbers. Now, the next one is road cranes. We'll look into research in just a minute. So here we go. Have a look at our levels. This is a level 23. This is a level 26. 26 is better. I'm definitely going to grab at least 2 road cranes. Okay. Do we have tower cranes? We have. So I'll quickly show you the tower cranes. See, level 50. That's cool. I'm going to use these in the not too distant future. But at the moment, I'm going to stick with the road cranes because we need these guys to move them around. But... And we don't really have a lot of workers yet. So I'm going to leave that for the time being. Now, what we're also keen on doing here is getting... forget about bulldozers for now. Let's get the excavators. So at least 1, 2. I'm thinking even 3 excavators, right? 3 excavators, just because they're so critical to early stage construction. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then we want to do the other items. So let's grab a bulldozer, just because I don't know how many we actually need. So we'll grab a bulldozer. We want a roller, and we want a paver. Paver. And we want a paver. So I think that is going to be enough for the early stage. Now we can see that I can actually go and grab an extra dumper, an extra concrete mixer, and an extra open hole. And maybe, well, let's get those 3, and we'll leave the extra slot to see what we're going to get. So let's go open hole, 1 more open hole, 1 more dumper, and 1 more concrete mixer. Okay, that's it. We'll leave the extra slot. Maybe that's a bus. Maybe that's another bulldozer. We'll see. But generally, that's going to be the setup. Okay, so now we've got these guys going. We can see, oh, we're not auto-searching. Okay, we need to auto-search so these guys can start working. Let's auto-search. Whether they're auto-searching all the way through here. Let's expand that a little bit more so that we at least get a little bit more range out of it. Actually, 3 kilometers. And they also need to do reconstruction and machine replacement and stuff like that. So they also do maintenance on buildings. So now that's in place. Let's quickly have a look. Oh, the accounting office is already done. Our teams are really good at this. So let's go ahead and upgrade that part as well. I think that should auto-assign. Yes, thank you. There we go. It's auto-assigning. Okay, so now we've got an accounting office, so we can get some stats for this town, the Cornoe Harbor town, right? So can I click on it? Yeah. So the stats is for basically what's going on in this area. So it's this town, it'll include the coastal town up to about here. So we'll see about not expanding the coastal town too much, but maybe we will. Okay, now, what is the construction office going to do as a starting point? Oh, hang on. Before we do that, let's go back to research. Okay. I think if we look at research over here, we can now get a pollution detector. So we'll jump in and get that to just conclude what we were trying to do from that perspective. Okay. We'll also pop in over here and see about getting some additional research from the Soviet 3 over here. So let's have a look at our research chain over here. What is there to research? And let's have a look at the Soviet era research. So once we've done concrete, we can do grand monuments. So that's something I'd like to get to. We've got a bit of a pathway towards some kind of neighboring OPEC membership and stuff like that, which we'll get to. Now, we would like to... so we're kind of down this chain, right? So we've got party memberships. We can build a secret police station. So now we can prioritize party members as well. And I think that's probably the next thing for us to do. We're not going to go into the air study just yet. I don't think we're going to go down this route in larger hotels just yet. We may standardize container speed, study of international container standards. This will enable us to use standardized cargo containers. It's not something that we're going to critically use. Actually, to be honest, maybe we should get our fire prevention going. Yeah, I'm going to do these first, and then we're going to go down down the ranking here. Okay, so let's just, and let's go back and just see what these fire prevention research actually means. So it's establishing guidelines, right? But what does that mean? Establish fire prevention guideline standards for factories, reducing the likelihood of fires starting in those buildings. So let's do that. Residential buildings, civil infrastructure, and then industry, because we don't have a lot of industry going on just yet. Okay, so that's going to be the research chain over there. Not this one, that one. Okay, so fire prevention for residential buildings. Please activate that for us straight away. Okay, do that. Let's get that moving. Okay, now that we've got the construction team over here ready to do its thing, the next thing I would like us to do is get our routing sorted out. So what I will do, we have a little bit of a challenge on our hands with regards to asphalting through this little section. So the way we asphalt, right, our asphalt an existing used road is we provide alternative mud roads. And that's why I've started off with this area asphalted, so that we have that. Now, in order to do this properly, I'm going to switch off snapping so we can kind of get a bit of a angle going here. We're going to start like that, and then we're just going to run it alongside here, all the way over there. So we'll join that area, and we'll run it all the way up here, while at the same time providing access points to the various places we need to provide access points. And what we'll do is we'll pop it out over there, and we'll sign it in over there. So that's our bypass road. So now these sections can start to be asphalted without impacting us too much. At the same time, I might do just provide access into these areas as well from the back. So what I'll do is I will just take out these. So I'm using these roads to kind of indicate where I need to leave space for our rail to come into, right? That's kind of why I've done this. But these will be temporary roads, so I can use that very same area for doing that. So I will do basically run a little road down here into there and into here, just so we've got a lot of resilience when it gets to what we're doing with this area in general. Okay, now that that's in place, let's start asphalting this road. Okay, so this section over here is the first piece, and the guys will start to do that. This guy was already pathed, and that's why it's still going there, but now actively this road is no longer usable. Okay, so that should do the trick. Beyond that, we want to get a few other construction items going. So we can start maybe on these. Let's have a quick look what our population situation is. Yeah, we can definitely do that. But in order to do this, I think we're going to start to need some expansion. So let's have a quick look at how people can actually walk to here. Yeah, we're kind of on the edge. We need a few other infrastructure items. So what I might do is I might do a little shopping cluster in this area. So let's grab our people. And we get a small, what is that? A grocery kiosk. Never seen that before. Yeah, that's a little small. I'd rather not just do a grocery store. I'd rather just do a small shopping center, something like this. Is it a little? Yeah, something like that is probably about right. So this area will have sewage connectivity. It won't have power though. Let's flip it around. So I like flipping things around. So we kind of use. I want to make sure we are connecting to the sewage infrastructure as well. We're not going to have power. There's no power here, so we'll have to bring power in. We also, water is all the way over here, so we will have to bring in some extra water as well. But anyway, that's kind of it. Let's just connect to what we can connect from a resilience perspective in this area. So I think we can make a start on a small shopping center. That's something we can do. So that we can slowly start building out for the needs of the rest of these people. That means we will need a little bit of power infrastructure. Beyond the shopping, I think the hospital is still reachable, I think. Let's just see. We might need to do another clinic in this area as well. But this should be able to reach this entire area. What other things do we need? Culture. It's really hospital. We need schooling and things. So let's just see, can we reach the school? No. So we're going to need, well, we don't have the paths in place either. So let's just leave it like this for the time being. There's a bit to go on with from a construction perspective, but I do want to get into the planning. So we've got another research program that's finished. We'll have a look at that now. So we need to bring in, now we don't have a lot more, we can run one more distribution this way, right? So I am thinking we need to do it. We don't need all those buildings to have power from this side because I think they've got power from the other side, right? Oh yeah, they've got power over here. So what we'll need to do is probably look at planning out a little distribution, power distribution somewhere over here to kind of expand where we're going to go with this. So if we do this, I just want to make sure we're kind of, I don't want to do too crazy things here. I just want to make sure we've got it roughly about this area. I think that's fairly useful. Okay, so we're going to do it there, and we can make a start on the construction of that item. Okay. you can make a start on that. We will need to run our power supply over here, but then these construction pieces can be done. How's our asphalt going? Asphalt's actually going pretty nicely. I might be able to switch off those now. Now let's bring in another power cable. I do, where I can, I would like to maintain running the ones, the above ground wires. They're less pricey, and it's a lot more consistent with what we're actually doing here. I do want the smaller ones though, so because those big ones don't look nice through town. So we'll do something like that. Try and run it alongside the road as best we can. Something like this. Okay. Oh yeah. Squeeze it through there. I like it. And then squeeze it through here as well. Okay. There goes our power line. It's a pretty straight power line. I like it. Now that we're over here, I might run it down to this side and run it up here. Ooh, probably on. I'll need to see because it's going to be in the way of pathing. Okay, so we need to bear that in mind. So what I might actually do, I might actually run it on this side here, on the side of this one here. I think it's not going to be too disruptive in that location. And then what we'll do is we'll run it straight over there. There we go. And we can make a start. It's not too pricey, so we'll make a start on that. So we'll get that power infrastructure coming in. Water is the other one that we're going to need in this area. So let's get a water substation. Now we do have water reaching up to here. So let's do that. So we'll try and get a little bit of resilience from a water perspective going. But just a tad, right? We don't want too much resilience. Probably fairly central in this location. Maybe. Does this one have water access? Let's quickly check. Oh, this one has. This one shouldn't. Oh, this one has too. Okay. So then that's where we were. It's probably about the right spot for it. Water substation. So that's how you do it, right? Oh, well, at least that's how I do it. Whether you have to do it the way I do it is a different story. So if we go there, that's a little bit of resilience. A little bit of resilience is not a bad thing. We'll need that. We'll do this. It'll be a little bit of a cluster of some utilities, and we need a sewage catchment thing as well. So, and that one is a slightly different ball game because it's not well, it's a gravity network. So we would need to tie it in. Probably over here, so we can run it along the side of the road and tie it in over there. I think that will be quite useful, and we could put some extra tie-ins along the way. So let's go and probably do a little something like this. That should give us that piece there. So this will be our utility plot. Wow, look at that. That wire is already built. Now, what I will do is I will start the construction. Oh, hang on. Before we do that, we need a sewage switch. I think somewhere over here. Let me zoom in. Yeah, I think this area is about right for a sewage switch. Like so. Just so that we can tie in something else if we need to. We'll get our sewage pipe in place. Sewage pipe, please, go underground. We'll run it along the side of the road here. That's a good one. And the next one, I would like to run like that. Probably I'm going to do that so that it runs more or less along the side of the road. Can we do the other side? I'm going to do that instead. I'm going to do that instead. That just gives us a lot more room. And that looks fairly reasonable as well. Okay, we'll make a start on those networks. We will obviously need this to be built though. So let's just tie these guys in for the time being so that they can make a start on this construction. Oh yes, our power is here. I like it. Come on, tie it in. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. I think there's enough for our construction crews to be working on. We will expand our asphalt works here. So we'll do all 3 of those sections. All of this should be accessible, no problem. We could even do that one. Yeah, we should probably do that one too. So let's just do all of these sections so I don't have to come back all the time. Let's have a quick look at research. So we've got our pollution studies, pollution filter. So now we can build, we can probably just do the pollution studies. But what we want to do, let's quickly pop back into research. Hang on, we know what we want to do on this side is we want to expand this again. So let's keep that one going. Let's pop back in here. No, not that one. Go in here. Have a bit of a look at the research and see. So in order for us, what is this? This is metallurgy. So that's what we need for steel, right? So we need that steel production design, development of a blueprint for a steel mill. So we want this one. That's something that we definitely need. So that is the route that we're going down. Pollution filters, introduction to metallurgy. Let's get, or the bauxite exploration study actually. Let's get the bauxite exploration going. So maybe we can actually still use that as part of our planning, and then we'll go from there. Okay, now the last 15 minutes or so, I'm actually going to do what it says on the tin. Apologies, the town takes a lot of effort. I'm hoping you've enjoyed that as well. Now, let's actually plan our nation. And I'll maybe put a little starting point for planning the nation in the a little bit of a chapter. Okay, so how do you plan a nation? Okay, we're still playing. The game is still moving. So we'll keep an eye on everything. Happiness is awesome. I love it. Okay, planning out a nation. Okay, so we've had a look. So we've got coal here, which we'll need. We'll probably need to use this. We could actually export this via boat, but I think that's a bit of a challenge for us, because we're probably going to use more of our coal than we're going to export it. So we might do some big coal complexes over here, maybe link these together in terms of when we actually need it. So there might be a big coal industry somewhere over here. So that's what I'm talking about when I say planning it out. Our starting point is over here, so we'll need some infrastructure. But let's do that first. So. And we can't switch on. So we'll definitely need probably to use both of these. I'm not sure we're going to use those two. So this central part of the map is going to be quite a prime area for industrialization. So maybe this is kind of our big industrial heart of the nation is going to come in over here. Let's have a look at oil, the other one. Even this, we can do oil refining over here as well. So those are the big ticket items for us, right? The steel mill. Okay, the oil area, the power, and yeah, that's basically it. And then how we're going to manage our logistics around that. So maybe central logistics, a port, something like that. We could do a port over here actually, but that will only be to the west. So that's not going to work as a port. So the port will have to go in here. So maybe we'll do the industrial heart over here with a nice big port over here somewhere. Okay, we'll see how it works because there's a lot of hills and stuff in here, but that'll look good. And then what we can do is we can focus our tourist area over here and over here. Maybe, yeah, we'll have to have a look. Maybe on this side of the port. Maybe this area here is our tourist resort, so that we can get Western tourists in, we can get Soviet tourists in, the port will work for the Soviet countries, and we can get the tourist rail to kind of skirt around these mountains to go over there. So that's kind of the general rule. Now that we know roughly what we want to do, so hang on. It's not as simple as that. So let's go to the oil area. Just need to, okay, so now I'm going to make this a little smaller. We want to try and see, apologies for the nighttime. Okay, so all of this area is the oil area. And we have a look at that by taking taking a oil pump jack and having a look at where this area is. So this entire area here has some oil fields. Not on that side, but on this side. No. It's all along this edge here. Let me just try and figure out exactly where it is. So this is the This is the oil-rich area here. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to highlight that for us on the map. So I'm going to do that, that, and this. Okay, and then we're going to say oil. Okay, so now we know this is our oil area. Okay, that means oil refinement could be here. Okay. Okay, so oil refinement could be somewhere over here. Okay, so we'll need some infrastructure to link up to that. We'll need people to work here, all these kind of things. Okay, so now if we open up this, we can kind of see what we're saying. Ooh, I am thinking we need to probably expand what we're talking about to include that entire area there. Okay, so that's our oil area. Okay, oil plus refinement is in that area. We'll switch that off. We'll go for, ooh, okay. So that we're right on top of it over here. So let's do, yes. Oh, that's too steep, huh? Well, we don't need to, I think that's about right. We don't need any more than that. Okay, so this is where we'll be mining, I think. Actually, we could even expand this out a little bit more this way. Yeah, there we go. Let's do that. Okay, yes, perfect. Okay, so this is iron. Iron, like that. Look at that. Awesome. Okay, so this is our iron area. Okay, so it kind of tells me we need a rail and potentially a road to run straight through the middle, hug this area a little bit. Okay, that's the one. We also want to kind of highlight this area here. This might be our starter situation though. If I do that, yeah, that's a little... Yeah, we're being quite aggressive with that area there. So that's iron as well. So I'll just do that. That's fine. We'll just do that. So that's iron as well. So we're planning that out. Okay, now coal. This will have to be our starter coal, but we'll have to expand to the other one. Okay, so it's going to be... It's going to be this. Okay. It's actually not a lot. There's actually only a little bit in here. So this is... Oops. This is coal. There we go. Okay. We also have coal over here, which I will actually highlight while we're busy planning. Just because... Okay, this is also coal, okay? Just so we don't end up building stuff by accident while we're in there. We want to zone these things out so we're aware. So I think that's the big starting point. So considering we've got iron and coal in this area, I'm thinking probably we can do power on the one side, but actually we need to co-locate as best we can. So if we're... Yeah, it's just too far from a town, right? We'll have to do a big city somewhere over here or something to be able to really feed this. But in the meantime, in the interim, while we're doing from this side, I think our first steel mills and power is going to go over here. So it's pretty close. We can actually build a bridge across there. And then we can actually run our infrastructure through that side. Okay, so let's do that. So adjacent to this... I'm going to go and say we will do This will be power. Power. So we'll do power over here. And we'll co-locate by putting steel kind of in this area. Okay, so let's do that. And steel needs a bit bigger, a little bit more room, so this might not be sufficient. But I think this is going to be enough to give us the indication of kind of what we're working towards, so we don't kind of overdo anything in this area. Okay, so steel is kind of, that's the plan, right? This can move because these are kind of industrial complexes. We want it not on top of town. We can actually do heating over here too, actually. Potentially heating. Yeah, let's just keep an eye on that. We want heating as well, right? Steel, heating, power, all of this kind of stuff in that area. Conserve that, plus it can serve towns maybe in this area as well to kind of then expand the oil refinery and further exploitation of the region. So what does that mean to us now? Now that we've got those basic items in place, right? We need to look at our infrastructure. So let's move on to our road network. I'll keep the minimap, try and keep it a reasonable size over here. I'm going to switch these off. We've got our regions showing. This is where we're going to start our expansion from. So we're going to do something like this. We're going to do a straight line. Oh, let's get snapping back on, actually. So we snap to that. So we'll start off like this. Actually, let's do that. Let's keep it going. Okay. Do that. And then at some point, what we'll do is we'll do a little bit of a break. Yeah, we may as well do the break all the way at the start here. And what we instead do is we tie it in like so. There we go. I like that. It could also be we could also do a turnaround, but anyway, that's not the plan. Okay, now we need to switch on the topography, right? So where do we want this to go? If we have a look here, right? We will provide some form of interchange to tie in with going into Cornoe, just in general. But I think, yeah, so my view is that we could probably run it through here. Okay, so and I'll tell you let's look at the kind of width that we need. Okay, so what I'm going to do, beyond the road, we want to leave a bit of room for a rail connection. So let's do 2 more lines for a rail. Okay. Okay, so that's the rail, potential rail corridor. I'm not necessarily going to keep a rail alongside it. On the other side, I want to have room for high voltage power, but also potentially pipeline action to the border, like oil pipelines, or even water and sewage pipelines, significant water and sewage infrastructure. That might need a little bit more room, like so. Okay. So if I look at this, so actually, let's just do that and we'll give ourselves a lot of room in our reserve. So now that we've got that in place, I'm going to, that's not what I want to do. I want to get rid of these ones and these ones. I'll keep that one in the middle because I kind of use that as a guide. So that is about the amount of room that I want. So let's have a look. If we measure it, what does that actually mean? So if we use the measuring tool and we measure it from here to there, what does that look like? That's 120 meters. That's not significant if you look at the reservations for infrastructure in the real world, but 120 meters. So we need about 120 meter gap for our corridor to run through. I believe this is fine. So let's have a look at, let's clear all of that out. Delete all the measurements, activate the measurement tool. And we have a look at that. That's 200 meters, so we can quite comfortably run that through there. So what I will do is we need to plan out the entire road, right? But what I'll do for now, we'll put the road reserve corridor in there. Let's have a look. We could turn it and hug this side, run through here, do a little bit of, yeah, I think that might be appropriate to try and run it through this area. Trying to run it this side is going to be a challenge. So what we then also need to do is we need to run it from there. We need to run it like that. We need to see how we traverse this area. We need to run it through there. And then we need to run it on the edge here. We probably need to cut through kind of this area here somewhere. So we might have to move our refinery up a little bit that way to get room for our infrastructure to go through here. Okay. And then we've got plenty of room to get our main infrastructure to run along the edge here. Where are we going? We are, okay, this could be the port, right? So we've got, this is not good that we're having the rain now. Okay, so we've got this infrastructure here. Wow, look at this. It could be quite an interesting project to get it to run here, right? So I think we could end up with a bit of an interchange here where we have, in this location, where we have a part of it running that way and a part of it running this way to kind of serve this area. It might downgrade a little bit to go over these hills or something like that. So we've got a bit of an interchange over here. Okay, and then we'll see about traversing this. This will be pretty challenging. We'll probably need to be able to jump over this way as well. Let's just have a quick look if there's not a better solution to us. Potentially, if we run, instead of curving around here, if we run straight through, we've got a bit of a better shot. And then we're on top of what we could have as a new town somewhere over here. Yeah, I think maybe we need to consider running our infrastructure, or at least an interchange of sorts, straight through here. So, this is, what's this? This was refining. Yes, words. We could have our refinery here and then still have a bit of room for infrastructure to run through here. Let's give ourselves a little bit more room. We could run, we don't necessarily have to disrupt the oil field too much, but we'll have to see whether this is really feasible. Alternatively, we could run it up here. Yeah, maybe that's even better. So maybe that's the one we're actually after. So if we're running out there, maybe this is our road corridor. Just need to bear in mind that with that there, we won't be able to run unpressurized pipes. So we won't be able to run gravity systems through there. So we'll need to bear in mind that a little bit. So if we run that through there, into this area here, that gives us access to a lot of area on this side, gives us access to that. Yeah, I think ultimately that's probably the right thing to do. And then we can hug this area, run through there. We can run something up that way, and it's going to be safer for us to run through this area. It'll still be quite difficult for us to run it through here, but that is gonna be it. We run our corridor through there and serve whatever we have on that side. So that means tourist hub over here, right? This area, tourists, unless we have a uranium mine or something in there in the future, because we don't know where it is. Oh, actually, bauxite should be available now. This is why. Bauxite is at our starter town, plus it's over here. So let's have a quick look. What are we planning? So we could be hugging bauxite here as well. So this is our, I don't know if we're going to do this. So this could be then, this is then bauxite, right? So our aluminum industry, aluminium. I'm not from the US, so it's going to be aluminum. No, it's going to be aluminium. So bauxite over here. Yeah, I think so. So really, because if we're running infrastructure through there, then we could still provide access to this area. Okay, excellent. So that's our nation planning. So that's the tourist area over there. Then I'm thinking, let's just have a look at what the terrain looks like over here. I wouldn't mind doing our port in here. It feels so natural. So I think this is our port. This area here, at least our starter port. Maybe this is our starter port. Okay, port. Okay. Here we go. We need to end this episode, by the way. But I think that's kind of the planning done. So this is our port with our logistics central hub, but we need strong infrastructure to come in here. So maybe this is a spur piece of infrastructure to serve this area here. And we have our primary network running through that side. And then we try and make use of these areas. We don't try and, we try and respect the topography and everything in this area. There's a lot going on this map. And then this area we could kind of expand into that area in the future. But then it kind of looks like our nation will be centered around this area here. So we'll see what we'll do with that area. So let's quickly, I'm opening it up. So we've got coal, iron, a number of locations. We've got our oil identified. We're starting to look at where our steel and power production will be. I can switch off the bauxite. We've got our bauxite and aluminium industry over here, maybe the port, some additional iron infrastructure. So really the industrial heartland of our nation. And then we've got an indication of where our infrastructure will kind of go, meander through the countryside. Question is, do we run it straight through there? No, I think meandering it through here gives us more access to some of these areas, because this could be a town around the lake here that can also serve. So town here, a town probably here or here, depending on how close we are, but probably over here, maybe even up into this area. So a town around this, yeah, a city around this, a city around this. And then a city around this, four big cities with some airports in the, to move between these areas, because some of this will be difficult to traverse, and some big proper rail infrastructure and so on. And we might even get maybe even get some ferry connections if we continue to put people on the coast like that. Yeah, I think town here, town here, town here, and town there. And then this is for future expansion. Sometime in the future, we'll look at this this new frontier over here. Yeah, I like that. So guys, that is our planning. That is the planning of our nation. Now, that's the recap of the planning. Let's head on over to Cornoe and see how our crews have continued the journey before we end the episode. We are in absolutely amazing company here. No goods to sell, but no need for selling goods just yet. We paused it. Oh, did I pause it? Oh, I paused it to do something. But anyway, that's been done. What does this look like? Oh, that's been done. Oh my goodness. Guys, our crews are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, the question mark here, let's quickly do one more thing. I want to really get this section tied in as well, and now I've kind of screwed myself a little bit with this. Can we squeeze a road by there? We cannot. So I'm thinking I'll need to connect this road up to that road. So let's just do that. I'm going to quickly do that so that we can just start the next section of the asphalt. So let's do that one there, and get the road to tie in over here. So at least we've got a little bit of resilience. We've got these guys able to tie and go back that way and tie into the town this way, though it's probably not ideal. We really can't squeeze anything through here, can we? Let's just switch off the snapping for a minute and see if we can't get something to hug that building there. Come on, just hug it. Really? Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That is... Why not? Overlapping infrastructure. Okay, let's see if we can trim it back just a tad, like so, and see if we can't turn it out this way. Oh, hang on. Woo, that was close. I don't want to do that. There we go. So we've got that. That is awesome. I'm glad we've got that. I'm not going to upgrade this, but I am going to upgrade that. So in order to do so, I will just very quickly take out that section there. Yeah, we're gonna struggle to get this done. I don't think this will actually work. If we go really right up to it there. Can we? Oh, we can! There we go. There we go. That's what I want. There we go. So that'll get us the ability to upgrade all of these areas. Oh, plus I can do this so that I can get through here. Excellent. Good. Now I can... Ooh, which one? That one will get... Yeah, this is a bit of a bummer. We'll need to have a look at that. Okay. Anyway, we'll continue that journey in the future. For the time being, I can do that. Everybody's making a start. Okay, so that's what we've got. We've got these buildings starting. We've got our infrastructure. We still need to do the water, and then we can start growing this. Our population is dropping. Why? Why is our population dropping? No pollution. People are escaping. It must be escapes. It only dropped a little bit. What's our population looking like? Why is it dropping? Escapes? No. Well, we don't have... Okay, anyway, we'll look at that in the next episode. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. If you've enjoyed it, hit that like button. Leave your comments down below. What did you think of our planning? Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.